We made it! Oh my god! We saw it! Matthew, yes, exactly! It's so humbling! It's so...
Hey, Sarah Jessica Parker, if you think that's humbling, just wait till you check out my...
Excuse me while I whip this out.
podcast, The Savage Sacktap.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in action. Jack says you got a great big cock.
Starts now.
You're listening to The Savage Sacktap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sacktap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all the years are gone by.
Christ, I am just fed up with society. Welcome to the Savage Sacktap, everybody. Mike Montone here. Did you get outside and see the eclipse? Oh, I'm sure it was just majestic. I skipped the whole fucking thing. I decided to watch Donald Trump go out and stare at it without glasses on Fox News instead. That was much more fun than craning my neck and wearing ridiculous glasses with a bunch of assholes out on the street. I'll get to all that in a minute, right after I vent about the weekend I just had. My girlfriend was house sitting, which I'm pretty sure is just her nice way of telling me that she couldn't hang out all weekend because she'd be like busy turning tricks for some rich dude at his beach house, but you know, that's to be expected when you're dating an escort. And hey, look, we all gonna make a living, and if you got the ass for it, you might as well, huh? I'm sure she'll buy me something real nice for Christmas with the extra cash just as soon as she wipes Santa's frosting off her chin. Anyway, I head down to meet my buddy in Asbury, which they should really add another S in there and call it Asbury Park, because for the uninitiated, Asbury Park is like one of the gayest places on the East Coast, but it also has a robust urban population, if you know what I mean. That's right. Asbury Park, where the brothers come strapped with gats and the butchers come strapped with dildos. So we did DJ's happy hour and then grabbed some burritos. That's really beside the point. This one motherfucker on the train down, I had literally just boarded. And there's this group of what looked like recent college grads. They're sitting a few rows behind me. And I hear this asshole who obviously fancies himself to be the comedian of the group. He starts launching into his little routine. You know, they're all eating breakfast sandwiches, which is what you do in New Jersey when you head down the shore. You get a breakfast sandwich. For my cross-country listeners, a breakfast sandwich in New Jersey consists of Taylor ham. Don't ever let anyone fucking tell you that it's pork roll. It's Taylor ham. Anything else can suck my fucking ass. It's Taylor ham. I don't care what it says on the fucking package. I don't care what they say below the Raritan River. It's fucking Taylor ham. Anyway, a breakfast sandwich in New Jersey is Taylor ham, egg and cheese on a bagel with salt, pepper, and ketchup. And I'm sure you guys got variations everywhere, but you can't get a good fucking bagel outside of this area. That's the discussion for another day. I hear him say, just so casually and confidently, while he's, chewing, if you think about it, tomato sauce is the difference between breakfast and lunch. He's fucking speaking through his bites like he's a real cool customer. Nobody acknowledged him. So he says it like two more times. If you think about it, tomato sauce is the difference between breakfast and lunch. I'm sure you want to fucking strangle me right now just hearing it. And he's just fucking... I fucking hate him. He repeated himself like 2-3 times until one of his I don't know how he has friends, but one of his travel companions finally acknowledged it. And he tries to explain that for breakfast, you eat a sandwich with ketchup, and at lunch, you eat pizza, which has tomato sauce. and that nobody eats eggs after breakfast, and nobody eats pizza for dinner. And all I wanted to do was drink my beer, eat my chicken, listen to some fucking podcasts, just enjoy the ride. And I have this motherfucker back there trying to be the train cut-up with his god-awful routine about pizza and breakfast that wasn't eliciting a single fucking laugh, and he was just trying to sell it like he was so insightful. And finally, I'm not even going to call them friends. They're travel companions, because this motherfucker doesn't have any friends. I don't know why he was allowed to go with them on this trip. Finally, they shut him up by telling him that ketchup is frequently used on things like hamburgers and cheesesteaks, which are in fact traditional lunch and dinner foods, and that leftover pizza, complete with sauce, is often consumed at breakfast by anyone who ordered pizza the night before. People eat fucking pizza for breakfast all the time. Thank God they interjected, not a moment too soon, because I was about one more fucking arrogant, cocky little fucking coolly delivered shit fucking take away from going back there and just choking him out with the cord from my earbuds. Fucking asshole. I hate that guy. I don't know his name, I don't know where he's from, I don't know what he does, but I fucking hate him. You know, situations like that just make me totally at peace with the idea of death. Like if we had derailed, or if one of the brothers of the Jihad had detonated a pressure cooker bomb in their backpack and just wasted the entire train car, I would have been totally fine with it, because at least this little shit dick would have gone out with me, and we would have saved the world any more of his hilarious little insights. After his breakfast and lunch bit tanked, he started doing some sort of Game of Thrones material where, and this is just brilliant stuff, he would ask anyone if they had seen the latest episode, and if they hadn't, he would threaten them with a spoiler. Except he'd say something like, "Yeah, there were dragons, and fire, and someone said winter is coming, and someone said, 'You know nothing, Jon Snow.'" Because those are the things that happen in every fucking episode. Yeah, real rib tickler, shithead. Ugh. Guys like that, you meet them, you come across them in public, and you just, I wish they had been aborted. Or like in 300 with that big pile of baby skulls just discarded. Like, after the kid pops out, have a village elder give him a once-over, and if he doesn't pass muster, if he seems like he might grow up to become the type of asshole who annoys everyone on the train with his shitty theory about breakfast food and pizza, they just toss him off a cliff. Most parents are doing a complete dog shit job anyway. So we should probably be discarding more infants, and, what was that, who was that immodest proposal guy? We don't have to eat all the babies, but there are definitely going to be some undesirables. New York City's got a massive homeless I know we can't feed them. They say human flesh tastes just like pork. Not for me, but if we have a destitute population that needs to be fed, I think taking care of if we could sort of preemptively screen for shitheads like this and donate them to a soup kitchen or something like that. What's the harm? I was at the Mets game the other night, and sitting in the row in front of me in an $80 seat it's some little shit on his iPad playing some game where he does nothing other than zap shit. So this kid's parents got him all decked out in baseball gear. They took him out to Citi Field, which is a huge pain in the ass to get to on a weeknight, like no matter which way you draw it up. They bought him a $9 hot dog, $15 soda. What, so he could sit there playing a fucking video game? And then they left in the 8th inning. with, 2/3 of the rest of the fucking stadium, so they sat in traffic getting out of the lot anyway. And it was right before the Mets at least made it interesting. Just an absolute shit job of parenting. When I was that kid's age, I would have been so fucking excited to see the Mets play the Yankees in person. I would have given my yet-to-descend left testicle. Just glued to I remember when the first Subway Series interleague game that counted was played, I was glued to every pitch because I wanted to shove it up my stupid Yankee fan friends' asses that the Mets beat them. And now we have a generation of fuckwad kids raised by fuckwad parents who need instant gratification. This is why they don't like baseball. No patience. They took such an adorable little selfie because really that's what it's all about these days. Going anywhere and doing anything. It has nothing to do with the experience. It's just about the likes. Nobody cares. You didn't watch a single fucking at bat. Fucking lady was attending to her kid playing this bullshit fucking game. Doesn't watch a single fucking at bat. But they got the selfie. You were there. Oh, probably a torrent of comments and likes underneath. Looks like fun. Let's go Yankees. Because of course they were fucking Yankees. For probably a little gentle ribbing from their Mets fans. Mets fan friends. Ugh. Say what you will about the Mets. Our team may be just rife with disappointment and an absolute train wreck like 80% of the time. But we don't show up to the ballpark to play fucking video games on a fucking tablet. First of all, I take my kid to the ballpark one day when I eventually have one of these little fuckers. There's not a chance there's a fucking tablet coming with us. And that's a non-starter. But there is no way this would fucking... I wanted to launch this kid's parents over the fucking railing and take him out to the woods to be raised by wolves. Because I can guarantee you that Mowgli wouldn't have pulled that bullshit. That trash, as they say now in sport, that trash. Mowgli ain't pulling that. You get raised by wolves, you ain't pulling that trash. Ugh. You take a selfie in a situation like you should be required to write in the Instagram caption for your pictures from the ballpark that night. We took our son to see the Subway Series, and he spent 8 innings playing with a tablet because we're shitty fucking parents. Ugh. I mean, look, God, I get it. At least from a distance, parenting looks like an absolute fucking nightmare. I understand why you kind of half-ass. I mean, I went to the park in Hoboken on I'm not saying it's okay, but I kind of understand. I went to the park in Hoboken on Sunday to get a light workout in, since they finally hooked it up with some pull-up bars. And mind you, this was like an 85-degree day in an urban area. So the sun is bouncing off of the buildings and the pavement. It's making it feel like it's about 100 fucking degrees out. And I see a giant balloon in the shape of a number 6, and just a cabal of children and their parents hanging out in a park, which by the park they were hanging out in is constructed entirely out of concrete. This isn't a lush park with tons of greenery and shade and places to cool off. Oh, no. This is pretty much just a couple of benches, a canopy, and some playground equipment that was slapped down into a parking lot, which I think is just the preview of what's going to be a construction site. So, the last place you want to hold a child's birthday. And this is in yuppie Hoboken, so it's not like they don't have the fucking cash to pull it off. But all I see I look around, I see these guys clearly in my age range, and they're spending their Sunday there, just getting bossed around by their wives, surrounded by a bunch of rambunctious little shits and children's toys without an ounce of booze in sight. Oh, it looked absolutely fucking miserable. And you know damn well that these broads aren't putting out later that night either. They all live in Hoboken apartments, so the minute they get into that air conditioning after the fucking heat, they're plopping down. Oh, I'm so excited, it's so hot out. And you know that the little shits can hear everything through the walls, and that they're loading them up with soda and cake, just heaping piles of empty calories on them all day. So they are going to be defecating their little brains out and wailing like banshees for their parents all night, on a Sunday no less. Have fun going to work tomorrow. Oh, that's the kind of thing parents get excited about, though. I'll be honest, it looks just terrible. I see it all over my Facebook news feed, too, from people I went to college with. These morons posting pictures of themselves with their kids. It's like 24 new pics every day. They're rubbing sunblock on them at the beach, spending the afternoon in the park. They have this look on their faces like they're suffering from some sort of self-induced case of Stockholm Syndrome. Just stuck catering to these ungrateful little monsters for 18 years. Christ. Ugh, what childbirth does to the average woman's body alone should be like enough to make any man question the practice. There is nothing like spending the next 60 years fucking a loose vagina attached to a muffin top and a forehead the size of Mount Rushmore. These idiots with kids on Facebook, they overbought on these Eclipse goggles, and some people couldn't get. There was a massive rush on them like the week before the eclipse. They were offering them up for one moron was looking to pay like $50 a pop just so her stupid kids could experience sunset a few hours early. What a fucking nightmare. If you don't have kids yet and somebody asks you why you don't want to experience the joy of parenting, just tell them that it's not worth sacrificing your Sunday, your sanity, and your libido to raise a future school shooter who spends 8 pricey innings at the ballpark glued to a fucking iPad. And by the way, I could not be happier that this eclipse is over, to be honest, if I may shift gears. All of the idiots at work were rushing to the window. I got into the city. They were all lined up on the streets looking up at the sky. Where are the curb-hopping jihadis from Europe when you need them? If that was a trend that was really going to take off in the U.S., let it happen during the next solar eclipse. I think that's how I know ISIS is on the run, because any terror group worth its salt would have been cruising down sidewalks on Monday at around 2:45 p.m., just plowing over the non-believers. I don't know, maybe that's part of the Islamic State's master plan. You let all the eclipse-watching idiots live so that they can slowly erode the country from the inside out. And I'm not saying, if I was out in the country or just sitting around at home that I wouldn't have watched by myself. You just spark up a nice J, have a drink, look at the sky. I can get down in that, but I hate joining the mob. My contempt for society at this point is just such that if a lot of people are doing it, I probably want to avoid it. Like, if I was at a cabin in a very remote place and had a pair of Eclipse guys, sure, I'd take a look. Why not? But I'm sure as fuck not gonna stand outside with a bunch of idiots like the people from Independence Day, just so, what am I gonna watch? It get slightly darker out? That's literally what happened. It became dusk for a few minutes. Happens every day around 6. Yeah, so, I stayed inside. I watched Trump watch the eclipse, and he promptly stared at the sky without glasses on, which was fucking tremendous. That dude he's just so much more entertaining than a few minutes of slight darkness. His press conference the other day, when he just ripped into reporters for questioning his response to the Charlottesville shenanigans, was absolute gold. They ought to call him Donald J. Don't Give a Fuck. I will be delving into a little bit of that and a story about a boy who was paid $1 million to bang his teacher. It is all coming up here in a few minutes on the Savage Sacktap. The rest of this episode, for those of you who missed it, is going to be pretty much a replay of or a recap of this past week's booze and news. Booze and News, of course, for those who don't usually watch, which is probably most of you, is my weekly thus far. I think I've done 4 or 5 of them. Facebook Live segment, Wednesday nights, well, I guess technically Thursday morning, but usually around 2 a.m. Eastern Time. I pour myself a glass of something brown, drink it down, and parse through the news of the week and just kind of blow off some steam, because everyone is just fucking stupid these days. I know that's like the theme of this show, and I should do more, and there's so much more interesting shit to talk about out there, but I am just getting fucking sick of dealing with human beings on a day. Am I the only one? I can't be the only one who feels like that. If I'm the only one who feels like that, tell me to shut the fuck up. You reach out to me on social media. Here's the deal. If you agree with me, shoot me a tweet. If you want me to shut the fuck up, follow me on Facebook and tell me to do it. You can find me. It's facebook.com/The Savage Crew. It's Twitter @Mike Montone. So use one of those. Facebook used to tell me to shut the fuck up, and Twitter @Mike Montone to give me a you go girl, keep it up. And if you just want to check out some of my fun pictures, you go to @Gary_Moiler on the Instagram that the kids are all using. You check them out there. Give us a follow. We have a YouTube channel as well. If you search the Savage Sacktap on YouTube, you'll probably see a bunch of, we have this little avatar of, it's a red background and a microphone with a pair of testicles. Looks like a black silhouette dick on a red background. Click on that, take you over to our YouTube page, check it out, and please subscribe. And now, without any further ado or delay, I'm going to kick back, relax, because fuck knows I need to relax, and push play on a little booze and news. It's Charlottesville and kids banging their teachers for your listening enjoyment. Enjoy.
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
All right, kids, here we go. It's Late Night Live. It's hashtag Late Night Live now. Booze and news. We got, what are we going with here? Got a little bit of this Ron de Jeremy. This is my brother got it for me for Christmas. It's good shit. It's always good when you can drink with a porn star. So I've used it a lot for like Cuba Libres. But this is tasty, so I'm gonna do it neat tonight, and we'll see where it takes us. Good stuff. It's slow little news week, huh? Almost decided not to do this, but there wasn't enough to talk about. Nothing going on this week. All's quiet on the Western Front. No, ooh, that looks good. Alright. I jest. No, talking to you today, or talking to you tonight, coming to you live from the chair that I masturbate from, we are going to be talking about Charlottesville. We've got a little messy down there over the weekend. Cheers, by the way, to the 0 people who are tuned in right now. But Christ, the Mets. The Mets are getting fucking ripped in the Subway Series. They have 3 in a row. I'm going. I'll be there tomorrow night, or tonight technically. But they're just getting fucking handled by the Yankees. What an abortion of a fuck. The only way to describe this season for the New York Mets is a first trimester abortion. I mean, things just after opening day, things just went down the fucking shitter real fast. Fucking big black dildos and Harvey missing starts. I was at the game that Harvey was supposed to start, that he got suspended for either he was hungover or he planted a big black rubber cock in someone's locker. No one knows the real truth, but he was supposed to start on a Sunday afternoon. It was the first Sunday in May, and they wound up getting fucking rocked by the fucking Marlins. Yeah, I think so. Nightmare. Anyway, how'd we get on the Mets sucking? the last fucking thing I want to talk about right now. Oh, welcome to Flavor Country, Ron Jeremy, you beautiful, hairy, big-cocked bastard. You did it. Excellent. Alright. Now we can get into the news. So, it's a tough week for Orange Donald here. Well, I don't know if you've heard, but there are a lot of people who aren't too fond of things like statues memorializing Civil War generals and the Confederate flag and pretty much anything indicative of what we like to think of as the darkest period in American history. For some reason, there are a considerable amount of people who kind of take exception to those things. But there are also a lot of people who really, really like those things. And, well, things got a tad heated because you'll see in Charlottesville, Virginia, they wanted to tear down a statue of Robert E. Lee. And the alt-right, as it were. I don't know if it was that... See, because everyone that you say is in the alt-right, they're always like, I'm not in the alt-right. So, and then they label everybody alt-right. But we'll get to that. I'll get to that in a little bit here. But I guess we'll call them the alt-right, because I don't even know how to define that now. These groups of white nationalists and neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Sorry, I'm a little fucked up right now. This is not the first piece of intoxication I've had. I'm pretty fucking ripped. But anyway, they decided to. I guess they had some tiki torches left over from a luau, and they decided to march to the statue and guard it. And it was going to be just that, and they were just going to be, weirdo dicks and yell Zig Heil and just kind of fucking entertain themselves. They're fucking jackasses. There's not a lot of them. There's not that many of them. They had to bring people in from all over the country to create just this. Just trust me, there's not a lot of these dudes. But anyway. At some point, a counter-protest develops, and Antifa, which is like the fucking left-wing answer to the alt-right. You're going to hear people saying that there is no alt-left or whatever, or that there's no, equal... Antifa's pretty fucking bad. They're not a hate group, so they lack sort of that evil character that the alt-right or these neo-Nazis have, but Antifa's pretty fucking bad. They take peaceful protests and stuff, and they turn them violent, and they're the ones that, they started the riot, the Milo Yiannopoulos speech at Berkeley. They're bad dudes. They're getting like a big pass from people right now because they were going up against, Nazis and white nationalists and these others that we can kind of all universally agree are kind of dickheads. So, yeah, they're getting a bit of a pass. But anyway, there were some peaceful protesters there. Unfortunately, one of them paid with her life because things started to get heated between the Antifa and the alt-right, and eventually this jackass took it upon himself to drive into a crowd of protesters, and he killed a young woman who was there. She didn't seem like the type to be protesting non-peacefully or protesting violently. I think she was an innocent person who probably didn't deserve that. But after that, people expected a little bit more out of the Donald, and he did not give them what they wanted. He condemned hatred and bigotry, I think, from all sides initially, and I guess he waited 48 hours. Everyone's just they're doing. I mean, this is what the right did to Obama on a lot of shit. So some of this, turnabout is fair play. You gotta give it to him. But he said it. It's just a fucked up situation. This was a situation that I think came to a head because of two lunatic fringe groups, the alt-right and the Antifa, arguing about just something fucking ridiculous. It's a fucking statue. I don't know. If you don't like it, don't fucking look at it. If you do like it, you're fucking silly because it's a fucking statue. They should... I'll get into this a little bit, but I feel like there are easy solutions to this. But fuck it, a bunch of fucking hotheads got into a fight over a statue, and apparently, I don't know what, because it's hard to know what's credible and not. But I'm hearing people saying that the cops didn't get involved, or when they did get involved, they funneled the alt-right guys towards the Antifa and kind of created a clash where there otherwise wouldn't have been one. So, just like a fucking pressure cooker, and some people who were there probably to protest peacefully got caught in the middle of it, and one of them paid with her life. It's just absolutely terrible. But people wanted the Donald to come down harder on what they see as bigotry, and everyone's had their hot fucking take. The internet, oh man, the internet is so full of awful fucking hot takes. But I think we gotta consider, how did we get to this point? Because you'll hear people on the right say, well, Obama got us here. He's the most divisive president ever. And I think if you lean left, that can be confusing, because you're saying, what do you mean? We put a black man in the White House. How could that be divisive? That's only divisive if you're hateful. But what people mean when they say he's the most divisive president ever is that during the Obama administration, these identity politics took over and became a very big thing. Everything became about identity politics. It was identity, but it just went... And things have kind of gone off the deep end with that. So a natural sort of occurrence as part of this identity politics is, well, if everyone's getting into identity politics, then eventually white people were going to get into identity politics. And when we look at the people who are into identity politics on the left, they're all fucking loons. Because you have to be a bit of a fucking nut to get that into your own identity politics. You don't... it's a sign of a lack of intelligence. You're not your own person. You're tied to a group because you're not a strong enough individual. So eventually there were going to be white identity politics. And oh, surprise fucking surprise, it's our crazies. What did you fucking think was going to happen? Like, you gave the crazies on your side too much fucking power, and now the crazies on the other side were like, hey, wait, I could watch us out crazy you, motherfucker. And that's sort of what's brought us here. Tasty stuff. Or what I think has brought us here, but it's... there's been sort of a, it's been a process, because you'll see people, a lot of op-eds now, and Bill Maher's said this a bunch of times, like, we accused the Tea Party of being Nazis, we accused them of being fascists. Well, the fucking Tea Party just wants the most limited government with no regulations. They do not give a fuck about two guys sucking each other's penises, but you called them Nazis. Bush, you called him because he was a Christian conservative. You push when you take people who are towards the center. They're centrist Trump voters. There are people who voted for Donald Trump just because they said, Hillary Clinton is not the candidate for me, and this Johnson guy can't win. So they went with the Donald. That doesn't make them fucking Nazis. Milo Yiannopoulos is a great example. That everyone likes it. They call him alt-right. They say he's all of these fucking things. He's a gay, I think a Jew converted to Catholicism who is currently fucking a black man. What part of that do you think meshes with the alt-right? Milo gets aligned with the alt-right because he defends things like free speech and he speaks up against how absurd identity politics have gotten. Just because you agree with fringe groups on a couple issues doesn't make you a member of the fringe. It's silly and dangerous to push people in that direction. Because that's how you alienate people, and you stifle as the gentleman from who wrote that Google memo said. And he too. I have seen people accuse him of being an alt-right men's rights activist. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. No, he's probably just a fucking, a little bit on the spectrum tech nerd who was like, oh, well, I read these articles and it said men do this and women do this, and well, if we take advantage of that, it could really increase efficiency around here. So I'm going to propose that it work because that's a smart thing to do. And they turned him. He's a fucking Nazi now. It's fucking ridiculous. But when you brand people as Nazis simply for having conservative views, the idea it takes it starts to take root, right? Because then you get these protests where they burn down a campus because they say someone like Milo or Christina Hoff Sommers, whoever else, who are really kind of center conservative, barely center of right. When you riot and accuse them of being Nazis and you ban something because it's the Nazis, you give it this cachet that makes it appealing. And the thing is, there are idiots out there who they can't tell the difference between opposing identity politics and engaging in hardcore identity politics of your own as a white person. So what inevitably happens when you try to shut people up when they oppose identity politics is that group's identity politics all of a sudden take on a much sexier sort of vibe, and you create animosity and you divide people along racial lines, and it's the people who are going to, like we said, the people who are going to take it the most seriously are the fucking crazies, right? The hotheads, the ones who will drive a fucking car into a group of people. Like, it's always the fucking loonies in any group that are, and that's who that appeals to. So Milo actually made a great point about this on Facebook because he's been banned from Twitter. He's banned. What's his name? The guy at Jack who runs Twitter is good friends with D-Ray. One of the he's a radical black leftist fucking nut job, and he got Milo banned for writing a bad movie review about Ghostbusters. So you see, that's what they're up to. Write a bad movie review, and we will ban you from participating in conversations on our platform. Well, that doesn't help, because now there's no conversation, and now there's no way to say, hey, the way you're pushing these aggressive identity politics are starting to make us feel marginalized, and it's bothering a lot of people, and it's not good. We're willing. We like the idea of equality, but some of these initiatives you're taking to kind of jam, diversity by the numbers down our throats. We don't get it. But you can't have that conversation now. You're a racist for trying to have that conversation, and it might be coming from a racist. It might not. It might just be a person who just doesn't get it yet. They don't understand the positives that diversity can bring, and they're just, talk to them, educate. Educate, don't shame is probably a great message there. But when you instead of having the conversation, when you stifle the conversation, Well, it doesn't make the sentiment go away. It's like if you have a pot of boiling water and you put a lid over it, that doesn't stop the boiling. The fire's still burning underneath, and eventually the water starts bubbling out of the fucking pot, and the flames start flaring up, and your curtains catch fire, and you come into the kitchen, and everything's up in flames, and your fucking house burns down, and you lose everything you own, and you couldn't get the family dog out, and your fucking kid's there crying on the front lawn because his loyal pooch, his best friend, was killed in a fucking house fire that you set because you thought the fucking water would stop boiling when you put a lid over it. That's not the way it fucking works. And now we have a girl dead in Charlottesville because identity politics in this country have gotten so out of fucking control that a person drove a car into a crowd. Like, there's not a lot of support for these fucking hate group guys, but keep pushing buttons, and they're a crazy group to begin with. Well, they're not, but they're not irrational. They're rational actors that just have a ridiculous goal. But they have crazies among them. Okay? You got the left. The left is not, I don't think, the one to blame for this. But they do need to work a lot harder to bring people back towards the center, and shaming definitely isn't the way to do it. Because especially where a lot of these people come from, South, Midwest, they're very fucking proud, salt of the earth, blue collar people. You look down your fucking nose at them from New York or Los Angeles, it breeds spite and resentment. Like, they're not educated in the same way, but it doesn't mean they're stupid. You know, the overwhelming majority of people from flyover country and the Bible Belt and shit are, you know, reasonable, intelligent. They're not these inbred morons. But if you look down your fucking nose at them, there's gonna be some angry, bad feelings. That doesn't justify joining a neo-Nazi group. I think that's disgusting and despicable. But it explains what breeds that kind of behavior in the members of that group that aren't that smart. The reaction from across the board was pretty interesting. I saw a lot of ridiculous memes and shit. So one that the Nazi flag should be banned because it's incitement, which is ridiculous, because it's not up to you to determine what my free speech means. All right, you can infer however you want. But my intent when it comes to speech is the only thing that actually matters. I could in theory, fly a Nazi flag because I think the swastika is a cool shape. And if you see that and say, well, this gentleman here is an anti-Semite, he hates Jews because he has a Nazi flag, well, that's just like your fucking opinion, man. Now, the gentlemen who were marching in Charlottesville, I have a feeling were not flying the Nazi flag because they think the swastika is a cool shape. But nevertheless, they do in fact get to say that they fucking hate Jews. We don't have to like it, but we should like that they're allowed to. Right? That's an important thing. You know, the idea that the government cannot lock you up for saying something that or punish you. There are other Western countries now that are punishing people for words, and you don't want that. And people want to creep towards that. They want to take things. They want to say, oh well, you know, not all expression is covered by the First Amendment. You don't want that. You don't want to exist in a world where a governing body can lock you up or punish you for expressing an opinion, no matter how shitty that opinion might be. Oh, that is good fucking rum. As for the statues themselves, I'm kind of split on that one. I'm very big on preserving history, and even if it's a horrible history, but the monuments celebrate probably the worst, well, definitely the worst period, the most painful for a lot of families. So it's absolutely understandable why you would want them gone. At the same time, I don't know that if you've seen the videos of them, they're pulling them down and destroying them. I think there's a better way to go about it. There's one of the videos you have to watch. Jim and Sam were fucking ripping it. It was either yesterday or this morning, but it's all these like fucking sissy white, liberal. They grew up in really rich houses, so of course they're all fucking socialists because they were just handed everything and they assumed that that's the way the world should work. They didn't see how the wealth was built, but they're all these just skinny, twinkish, nerdy fucking white kids running up and like the statues on the ground, and they're like all like kicking at it in like just the faggiest, most effeminate way ever. It's fucking hilarious. You gotta check it out. Do yourself a favor after you're done watching this and check that video. It's fucking great. It's fucking just these little fucking twinks trying to kick a metal statue, and it's just half of them are just giving it these like just weak little fucking like a kitten pawing at a ball of yarn, and the rest of them are winding up and smacking it and getting knocked backwards. You know what I would do? I would take him and put him in a museum somewhere. Make a museum and educate people. Just be like, hey, this is Robert E. Lee, and this is everything we know about. Like this, just lay it all out there. Let people fucking read up on it, and get their personal correspondences and shit, whatever they have, and just put it all. Let's put our dicks on the table, and that'll be it. Fucking make a big like split down the middle of Sean King and D-Ray and whoever the fuck else, Van Jones. Actually, I like Van. He's an intelligent guy. But Eric Holder, put him on there, and then make another half of like Jeff Sessions. The fuck else? Sessions. We bring Boehner back. Let's bring Boehner back and put him on the board. I miss Boehner. And who else? Bannon's too hardcore. You don't want to use him. Ted Nugent. Yes, that will be a fine advisory committee. They'll get plenty done. Put them there, and they will head the museum. Because the good thing will be get them all out of everybody's fucking hair for a while, and they will just all these statues, we put them in there, and based on their consensus is what we will be told about like Nathan Bedford Forrest and Robert E. Lee and all these other guys. They will decide the American narrative. We will do it in the most bi lunatic way possible. But yeah, because you don't want to. If you eliminate history, you run the risk of forgetting it. We definitely don't want that. But at the same time, you don't want to celebrate people who engaged in the most treasonous act in American history. Like right up there, that is up there with Benedict fucking Arnold. I don't give a shit. I thought it was so fucking stupid that they canceled the Dukes of Hazzard because the Confederate flag's on the car. Like shit like that is fucking stupid. That's just fucking retarded. But the other stuff, because that's just, you can't, that's just part of what the show was. You're gonna take away the whole fucking show because they have that? That's silly. But, I get not wanting to have the Confederate flag on a state flag. That makes perfect sense. You can see why people would be justifiably a little irked by that one, right? I'm not saying, hey, you want to fly it outside your home? Go nuts, man. You want to wear it on a hat, put it on a bumper, fucking go for it. But I don't know that the government should be recognized. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't get that. And it's usually from, like, people who are, like, hard, like, yeah, America, yeah, USA. And then they're like, oh, yeah, but also I have the flag of the guys who are like, we hate America so much, we want to leave. Isn't that's like a conflict of interest of some kind, right? I don't fucking know. Yeah, Trump. People were not. Trump compared them to George Washington, but you know what? The left wing crazies do make that kind of comparison once in a while. They're always saying they fucking hate Columbus, which I guess Columbus was kind of a prick. I think he used to like skin people alive and crucify them and shit, so he was kind of a dick. But Thomas Jefferson's the one they like to harp on. Thomas Jefferson's just all about freedom and shit. Actually, I think wanted to end slavery, but within the political context of the time, just didn't have the swing to do it. And it's not like, it's not like he could have fucking put together a change.org petition. Like, shit moved kind of slowly back then, you know what I mean? And like how long it would have taken to convince all of those rich land-owning white dudes to give up on slavery in the 1700s? Like, that was no small task. They weren't gonna you're not gonna start a fucking hashtag for it, and all of a sudden, oh, boom, that's it, yep. The internet, fucking BuzzFeed article, the internet is furious about slavery. People on Twitter are letting Thomas Jefferson know that slavery is not okay. Yeah, it didn't fucking work like that back then. Fucking, just people... fucking idiots. But yeah, there are people who want to get rid of the monuments to Jefferson. Jefferson was the fucking man. Anyway, moving on. I think honestly the best way, and people are like big memes going around, punch Nazis, man. Like engaging and fighting these guys everywhere they go. That just gives them such a spotlight and makes them so, like, why do you even want to give them that? Because anytime if there's a fucking riot between, like, Antifa and the alt-right, there's going to be cameras and shit, and it's going to go viral, and CNN's going to be doing round-the-clock coverage, and Trump's going to tweet some wild shit. I think the best way to treat them is honestly, treat them like the Westboro Baptist Church. Just treat them like a bunch of fucking clowns. Be like, what you think is so fucking out there that we're not even taking it seriously. Like, really? Are you fucking talking? You know that annoying loud chick in every fucking class? The one that reminds the fucking teacher to assign homework? Everyone fucking has her, everyone fucking hates her. The one who she speaks up and it's just like, oh, fuck. Really? Really? Are you fucking talking? But if you engage her, she gets to keep talking. But if you just fucking ignore her and just let her get it over with, you don't have to fucking deal with her anymore. It kind of goes away. That's what I would do. I would treat the white nationalists like an annoying girl in class who won't shut the fuck up. I did see a couple idiots put on Facebook that being a Trump supporter makes you a Nazi sympathizer. That's fucking silly, and that's how you alienate people who agree with you that being a Nazi is bad, is by accusing them of being Nazis, by making them defend the fact that they don't like Nazis. It kind of pushes people away. It's like you can. People had a number of reasons to vote for Donald Trump. Some felt that he was going to improve their chances to have a fucking job, so they voted for him. Some thought Hillary fucking sucked. They wanted an honest. There's a million fucking reasons you could have voted for Donald Trump. Not everyone makes you a fucking Nazi. Now, there are people out there who are certainly neo-Nazis who certainly voted for Donald Trump. But just because you support Donald Trump does not make you a Nazi. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but the fuck, it doesn't. I have friends who are Trump voters, and they like some of the things he does, and they don't like some of the things he does. I think that's a better way to describe most Trump people is they're like 50-50 on him. But they were fucking 0-100 on Hillary, and Gary Johnson didn't stand a chance of winning, and Jill Stein is a fucking crazy person. So, that's what you get. And then you got the fringe ones who are the fucking loonies. They're the fucking Nazi sympathizers. But, the whole they're doxing people now. Because if you were at the rally, they're doxing people. They already got it wrong at least once. There's some guy who's like, no, that wasn't me, so can I have my fucking job back? This is what happened. And the fucking same thing happened after the Boston Marathon. Reddit identified the wrong guy. Didn't we learn our lesson about this little vigilante internet insanity then? Like, whatever. Like, you're fucking... If it was you at the fucking rally, you're picturing a video everywhere, people are gonna be like, oh, that's fucking Bob. I know it's fucking Bob, because I also follow him on Facebook, and he's constantly posting all of this fucking shit about how he loves Hitler. Yeah, that's totally fucking Bob. So there's no reason for people who have no detective experience whatsoever to be going around sleuthing people out and mistakenly getting the wrong guys, or like putting you put fucking Carl's picture up because he's walking around Charlottesville with a tiki torch, and he still lives with his fucking parents, so now his parents' lives are in danger, even though they're not fucking Nazis. So I don't know if it's the best idea for fucking just random dudes on the internet to be doxing people. That's kind of a dangerous precedent that we set, that we accept that. Like, Americans are really, like, we should have all these principles where we stand for things like free speech and, like, privacy rights and stuff like that, but as soon as you give us something to get riled up about, we will throw that shit out the fucking window. This is the same thing with the punching Nazis thing. The Antifa showed up and punched Nazis who were having... You could say what you want about them. They were open carrying, whatever. If Virginia's a fucking carry state, then let them fucking carry. They had torches, whatever. You have a right to be an asshole. They were technically peacefully assembled, just you don't like what they're saying. They were there. So when you walk up and you punch a Nazi, then the Nazis retaliate by driving a car into a bunch of people. Do you see how that had a bad effect? Yeah, cool meme that I punch Nazis. Well, you're not helping us find a solution. You don't want to. I know everyone's kind of it's like, when you look at the Antifa going up against a Nazi group, it's really like watching a fucking snake eat a mongoose. You don't want either of them in your fucking house. So don't cheer too fucking hard for the snake, because eventually you got to deal with the snake. And these guys are fucking, those Antifa, they're fucking dicks. They are violent fucking thugs. They incite riots. They like fucking helped torch Berkeley because Milo was going to speak and they didn't like what he had to say. They want to suppress free speech. Their desire is for everyone to obey them. So they are fascists in their own right. Like they are not the good guys here. They're just the slightly different bad guys who didn't happen to kill anyone. But they do in fact suck. Fuck else we got here. Anyway, that's it for the serious shit. We got like fun, funny stuff. Appreciate you guys tuning in, by the way. Even if, hey, sometimes I go off on tangents, you don't like what I have to say, tell me to go fuck myself. I don't care. But anyway, we got, what else? We got thrown off. I'm fucking tuned up right now, I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, so a judge awarded $1 million to an Oklahoma boy who had sex with his 8th grade English teacher in her classroom. First of all, if you're still watching, give it up for this kid, because plowing the teacher in the classroom is like the ultimate plowing your teacher fantasy. Like every guy who had a female teacher wanted to fuck his female I'm gonna delve into that in a moment, but there's not a man out there who didn't want to fuck their teacher. And you know what? If you were gay, there were probably a couple male teachers you wanted to fuck. Probably had your eye on that art teacher's paintbrush. Maybe wanted to grab the gym teacher's dodgeballs. Everyone growing up, you're hitting fucking puberty. You see them every day. You're just fucking thinking about sex 24/7. Everyone wants to fuck a teacher, and where they want to do it is in the fucking classroom. Savage moves by this kid. Respect, man. But anyway, Jennifer Caswell, 31, was sentenced to 15 years, 5 of them suspended after pleading guilty to second-degree rape. The victim and his father sued her for intentional infliction of emotional distress, and now a federal judge has sided with the plaintiffs. Caswell's defense lawyer says she has no money to pay the $1 million judgment. Well, she's a teacher in Oklahoma. I did not think she would have the cash for that. Anyway, in July, Hollis Public Schools agreed to pay the family wow, they are just getting fucking paid. $125,000 to settle a separate lawsuit. Jesus. I mean, if you think about it, that is a handsome stud fee. This 15-year-old goober from Oklahoma has a cock that's worth $1,125,000. You son of a bitch. That, excuse me for a moment, calls for a little more Ron de Jeremy rum. We are talking about a valuable fucking cock there. You top this glass off. This is tasty stuff, by the way. Oh, and I'm running low. That is the second bottle of hard liquor that I have killed in less than a week. The boy likes the brown. Grab some brown and drink it down. Alright. Where are we at? Notes. Anyway. Yeah, her lawyer said she's fucking broke, but she went on Dr. Phil, and she claimed she was not a rapist. Did you rape that boy? Did you rape that boy? I can't. My Dr. Phil's off tonight. Sorry. That was fucking awful. Fucking... Jesus. She said he made the first move. Oh man, how about that? Having to just sit there in front of that bald, mustachioed, goofy motherfucker and talk about how you were at work and wound up getting fucked by a 15-year-old. Jesus. Blaming it on him. She's not wrong. I mean, she had... honestly, I think when it's these teachers fucking the male students, it's the teacher that's got to consent. The fucking dude's already on board. You don't have to convince him. This is like my favorite part. Caswell was married during her tryst with the boy, but is now a single mother of one. Jesus Christ. If you get a look at this broad's picture, do yourself a favor when you're done with this. Jennifer Caswell. I'd call her a New York City 6, which I guess that makes her like a 12 down in Oklahoma. They got one. It's hard to tell because in some of the pictures she looks a bit chunky, but in other ones she doesn't look bad. She wears red lipstick too, which you come across a girl wearing red lipstick, she likes to work she knows how to drive a stick, if you know what I mean. Really works those gears. Girls who wear red lipstick get down. They're wearing it for a reason. They wanna leave their mark. But fucking the rape charge blows me away, and the heavy fucking scent. She says he came in. I was working on things. He kept coming closer to me, and I would kind of walk away to the other part, another room, another area of the classroom, and he just walked up to me, and then he kissed me, and then he kissed me. And then it just kind of went from there. Yeah, I mean, once that electricity's flowing, because she's probably like, oh, this is bad. She says her husband's not giving it to her. That's the problem. You get down there, you get into some of these more God-fearing parts of the country. I'm gonna tell you something, son. Around here, we listen to the word of our Lord Jesus Christ, and He don't go for that kind of fondling and fooling around. But you also get a lot of freaks. Like I was stationed in the South, stationed in Virginia. I went to school in Pennsylvania. The more rural it got, you go out on the highway, and it would be porn shop, church, strip club, church, dildo store, church. Fucking like clockwork. So, dude, there are definitely rural types who like to fuck. I tell you what, you take your time. One day, you hop on Craigslist. You go to a more rural Craigslist, like somewhere out in Midwest or the South, something like that. Especially the coastal South. Oh yeah, they like to fuck. You go into the casual encounter section and click around. There's some fucking freaks out there. So, if old Jenny here has the freak gene and her husband's got the Bible thumper gene, well, sugar, you can tell trouble's cooking. Yeah. Decade in the can for giving this kid the best fucking experience of his life. Dude, he is gonna... First of all, he's gonna have straight cash when he steps on campus when he gets to college. He's going to have fucked an adult woman on multiple occasions in her place of business. This kid is just... He is gonna be a fucking stallion for the rest of his life. And she's going to jail? Fuck Robert E. Lee, motherfucker. They should be... The fucking Southerners should be putting up fucking statues for their for their sexy fuck teachers. Because it's always the South where this shit happens. Oh, I am all fucking in, man. This son of a bitch. This fucking kid. Cash and coos, baby. Good for you. You want to hate him, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, she blames the whole thing on her failing relationship with her now ex-husband. This guy got fucking cocked by a 15-year-old. I felt very unwanted by my husband. I was with him for 10 years, and I was never complimented. We never held hands or were physical. Son, let me tell you something. That thing right there between your and the missus' legs, that's just for procreating. That's for bringing more beautiful babies into God's green earth. Praise Jesus, hallelujah. And she's just out there like, someone come fucking trill my juicy pussy. Because she was a little thick too, so you know. Thick with red lipstick and from the South. Oh, good God. Let me tell you, I bet that girl could work a wiener. That fucking poor bet. She was coming home all night smelling of teenage seed after a hard day at work. It's probably summertime. It was happening over like 6 months, I think it said. Summertime in Oklahoma. She's getting piped out by a fucking teenager. She comes home smelling like Right Guard, Axe body spray, and fucking stank and fucking teenage, that hefty fucking teenage. You know the smell I'm talking about, boys. You first start busting nuts and you're like, whoa, that is powerful, strong. She's coming home every night smelling like that to her husband. He is just a fucking cuck, man. Either he is the biggest Bible thumper on the planet, or he was sucking some cock on the side. Those are the only explanations there. And the kid's father, I guess, the kid, they call him the victim, but let's be honest, the kid's not a fucking victim. He's a fucking champion. Champion. The kid's father helped them file the lawsuit, so I'm thinking this is either a money grab. He's thinking, hey, this is our fucking cash ticket out of this hayseed town, or he is fucking wildly jealous and just wanted to blow up his son's spot in a massively public forum and make him look like a little bitch who felt like he was victimized for banging his teacher, when in fact he should be pumped up about being a fucking champion. But, weird, wild stuff, as they say. And that's that. That's it for booze and news. What else is going on? Fresh podcast episode is up. We live streamed it last week. Diego came over. He's my buddy's a libertarian, and he is championing a massive free speech movement on New Jersey college campuses. He's trying to get the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education involved, and it really take off into a big thing. He's hustling his ass off. I think I was like the second of 3 shows he was doing on Friday, so he's really getting after it, trying to get the word out there. But that is live on the site, so if you want to check that out, the savagecrew.libsyn.com, and it's the episode there at the top. It's you're fired up about free speech on college campuses is the name of the episode. Check that out, and yeah, I don't fucking know. I got nothing else. The usual. We're on Instagram, Gary_Moiler. I'm on Twitter at Mike Montone, and I don't know. Salute, motherfuckers. Thanks for hanging around.